Okay, hello and welcome to Business Reboot Camp. We are here to talk about what it means and is it right for you, and really just helping people understand what the heck this is and really just get an idea of whether or not this is going to be a good fit for you and your business. So let's get started. I don't want to waste time doing nonsense. So I would love to know more about you. So Christina, would you like to share with us what your business is, kind of what industry that falls in, how many years you've been doing that, and what's your biggest struggle?
Sure, I can do that. So, hi, my name is Christina Hall, and I'm in the middle of a few things. I actually created my own business, which is called Joy Fuel Life. And originally, it was meant to be an umbrella for marketing, health and wellness, and personal development. And now I'm not so sure anymore. Like, I have even more things to add. And I'm just being pulled in different directions. On the other hand, I'm with a company which is called Life Plus, and I'm also a certified wellness coach. I'm trying to get health and wellness or educate more people about health and wellness. So that's a big passion of mine as well. And I'm just trying to figure out a way to integrate everything right now.
Okay. So how long have you been in this industry or with your business?
So pretty much since last year. I've dabbled around like for the last 3 years, but really sincerely and, with everything involved since last year.
Okay. And what do you struggle with the most?
Branding myself.
Okay. Okay. Well, awesome. Thank you for sharing. So I don't know if you were a part of the survey that I did last year, but I did this huge survey asking business owners what they were struggling with. And I had about 30 people respond to the survey. And these were like the top results, which I found really fascinating, but at the same time, totally does not surprise me. Self-sabotage, of course, was number one, and fear of failure, which I think go hand in hand, because the fear of failure is creating the self-sabotage. So it's that cycle that we get ourselves into. And then, of course, processes and systems, really about helping business owners finding the right tools that are out there, because there's so many, but which one is right for you in your business? Time management was a big one, as well as being overwhelmed, which to me both go hand in hand, as well as being accountable, and so like follow through, and then how to create a sales funnel, kind of leading your customers through the sales process was also up there as well. Do you remember taking that survey?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So boot camp, basically REBoot camp, is I really created it for, I was listening to what people were saying, and I had written this term down, Business Reboot Camp, in my notebook. It's on the front page of my notebook, and I was just kind of waiting and really just gathering market research and then figuring out how I could help, because I'm a helper. I love to help people. And so I really created it for people who are feeling stale and stagnant. They're so tired and just unmotivated, and they don't know where to start, and they're sabotaging themselves. Their success is being sabotaged by getting them in their own way. And so I hear all the time from people kind of complaining on social media in a lot of these groups that I'm a part of, like, why isn't this working? It's like, I'm doing all of this work and I'm not seeing the results that I want. Why isn't this working? And I'm sure you've heard of this quote. I actually learned today that it is not by Albert Einstein, about the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And when that happens, I feel like it's time to try something different, because it's not working now. It's not going to work in the future. So let's stop wasting our time and our energy doing things that are not actually producing results and success. Have you felt like that before, Christina, where you are doing the same thing over and over again and wondering why it's not working?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Doesn't it suck? You're just like, ah, right? And so what I say is that sometimes we just need a little perspective, just a change of mindset, and really just getting clear and taking a step back. When we can take a step back and kind of evaluate what do we actually want? What are we actually trying to accomplish? What are we actually trying to achieve? And then actually seeing if what we're doing lines up, because sometimes they don't line up. And if we can just take a step back for a moment and have someone to talk it out with, we can actually find that, oh, duh, like, why didn't I try that before? You know, it's just a little shift of perspective can really make a huge difference. So are you okay if I tell you a little bit about my story? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So it's been, this year will be 10 years that I started a business as a photographer. And I actually started, before that, I was a scrapbooker, which is how I got started in photography. But as I had to teach myself everything, because all I wanted to do was take pretty pictures. I didn't really have any interest in running a business. And so it came to a point where people wanted to pay me to take their pictures. And now I was collecting money, which meant it was no longer a hobby, which meant I had to learn about taxes, and I had to learn about bookkeeping, and I had to learn about marketing, and I had to start treating it like a business. And so about 3 years of kind of having a studio in my house, I started taking things a lot more serious and started getting introduced to networking. And it started at the Chamber of Commerce, and then I was getting invited to BNI, and then I learned about Polka Dot Powerhouse. And throughout all of this, I learned that I had a gift. And the gift that I have is brainstorming, is I have this intuitive sort of thing that happens when I talk to somebody and I hear about their struggles and what's not working. I can tell them about, I start kind of writing, and I start kind of feeling this intuition about ideas and things that might be able to help them. And so this is my family, who has been very supportive throughout my career. Of, you know, my family for a long time kind of got put on the back burner as I was trying to build a business. And I hated that. I was working all the time. I was working a full-time job and trying to run a business. And I was exhausted. And I was barely making any money because I wasn't charging enough. And I was miserable. And I had to make some adjustments. And so I hired a coach, and I learned some really valuable tips. And so kind of, I don't like to call myself a coach. I like to call myself more of a strategist, where I help people strategize and find the perspective and the clarity that they need to kind of move things forward, but still offering that support that is really super important. So, Christina, if you had clarity and a roadmap to guide you, like, how would you feel about that? If you had something that was intentional and was guided and well thought out and was smart and was goal oriented and solution based, like, how would you feel if you had that in front of you? Like, you knew exactly where you were going and exactly what you were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. The first word that comes to mind is empowered, because you know you don't have to figure it out on your own. You're not gonna get lost or sidetracked, but you have something that you can follow and not worry about everything else.
Right. Like, how stinking amazing is that? And for the longest time, I felt like I didn't have a map. Like I had no directions. I had no idea where I was going. I didn't know what the hell I was supposed to be doing. And I was basically kind of in this learning as I go state of
Mhm.
mind. And I really spent so much wasted time doing things that were not actually working. And I wanted them to work so badly that I kept doing them over and over again, thinking, well, if I just stick with it, it'll work. Eventually, it's
Mhm.
going to work, right? Everybody else, it's working for everybody else. Why isn't it working for me? And I learned that I'm not like everybody else. I cannot run my business like everybody else. I need to look at myself as an individual and a unique individual, just like they are a unique individual. What works for me is not going to work for them, and what works for them may not work for me. And so once I sat down and actually created a plan of attack, I felt so much more confident, and I felt like I had purpose, and I felt like I could make a bigger impact in my community because I had a plan. I wasn't any longer out there just throwing spaghetti at the wall and trying to see what stuck. So this is my little dog Paisley. Isn't she hysterical? She's just like, she has to be in the middle of everything that I do. So she's like,
Yeah,
oh,
definitely.
Mom, you're taking pictures? Well, I want to be in the picture too. Yeah, she's hysterical. So if you had the ability to have help creating a plan of attack, is that something that you would be interested in?
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Because like, oh, would just probably make you feel so much better. So
Mhm.
I have a couple of testimonials. So Fidel is a coach, and he is pretty amazing because not only did he help me find my clarity, I helped him find his clarity. And
Nice.
so isn't that just cool? Like it's
Yeah.
coaches need coaches too, you know?
Yeah.
And I was in this place that I was like, I felt stuck, and I felt like I had this opportunity at the end of 2018. I felt like I had this opportunity to kind of make a little bit of a shift in my business, but I didn't know where to start and I didn't know what it looked like. And I really just needed someone to talk it out with. And so he had come and spoke at our Polka Dot chapter, and him and I have connected before, and we just really kind of clicked, which I think is so important, is that you find someone that you click with. If you don't click together, it's just not going to be a very beneficial relationship. And so I went and met with him, and I just needed someone to ask me the right questions. And so the great thing was that several weeks later, he said, Elaine, I want to hire you now to come and talk to me because I need to talk some things out. And so I felt really honored because of all of the people that he knows. He asked me, and I was just like, wow, like I just felt really honored about that. And so it was exciting to get to hear what his strategies were and kind of where he was struggling. And the things that he was struggling with are things that I like to consider myself an expert with, which is technology. I love technology and I love using technology in my business. And so that was something that he was struggling with. And so we were able to talk it out, and I was able to give him some really great platforms that he could use to get organized. He had a lot of video and content that he was just like, how do I organize this content in a way that makes sense? And so I was able to help him figure that out. It was so fun. I really enjoyed that. And then this one, so I had done a brainstorming session for a yoga instructor. And so she kind of was in this, she didn't really know, like she knew she needed some help, but she wasn't really sure kind of what she wanted. And I gave her some amazing ideas just from brainstorming, and I recorded the session so that she could listen back to it. And then I got a message from her last week that just talked about how the idea that I gave her, her business is booming now because I gave her this amazing idea, and it turned into something that was amazing. And I did not ask her for this testimonial. She just sent it to me and was like, I cannot believe this is happening. My class is almost sold out. This company that I've been wanting to work with contacted me. Like, all of these things are starting to happen for her. And she was just so grateful that she just sent this to me. And I was like, oh, like, it made me feel so good that I was able to give someone a tool or a resource that propelled their business to the next level. And so basically how Business Reboot Camp works is that I am asking people to educate me about your business. I want to know all the details. And I have a survey that I use to kind of get those questions from you, the kind of the basics. And then as we continue going, I'm going to continue asking you questions because it's important for me to know everything about your business, because I'm going to do an evaluation. I'm going to go and research your business. I'm going to look at your website and your Facebook pages, and I'm going to really take time to see, kind of give you my impression about your marketing techniques and kind of where you're struggling. And then once a month, we're going to have a one-on-one brainstorming session, which is really customized to you, and it's focused on your goals and your intentions. This is not about anyone else, it's about you. And so then, kind of based on your goals and your intentions, we're going to choose one area to focus on for the month. So maybe that could be, an example could be marketing, where you're like, I really want to focus on my marketing strategies. That's what we would focus on for the month. And then you'll be getting check-ins from me. So I'm going to be checking in with you to kind of see how are things going. And know that it's okay to make tweaks along the way, that it doesn't have to be set in stone. And then I'm also going to be available to people to help them when they need feedback, if they get like this idea that they really want to implement. And sometimes you just need someone to look over a marketing campaign, or you need someone to, you know, proofread your copy, or you need someone to just kind of bounce off a strategy that might work. And then the other part about it is that we already have people that have signed up for this program. So there's a support group of people that are going through the program with you that you can communicate with and kind of bounce things off of them too. They're going to be on their own separate journey, but that support system is still in place to help. How does that sound so far?
Pretty cool.
And so here's some ideas about some of the things that we might be focused on. So customer experience is really important to me. And it's one of the things that I feel like I have kind of mastered. And so I like to help other people figure out how to create an amazing customer experience to create loyal fans. And then if your business at all includes contracts and agreements, I want to make sure that that they might be reviewed in order to make sure you're protecting yourself. And if you need help with systems or programs, what can you automate, you know, kind of things like that. Leads and recruits, that may be a part of your business, that might not be a part of your business. Budgets, sometimes we need a budget, especially a marketing budget and things like that, and why it's so important to have one. Time management, I have all kinds of strategies about how to make the most of your time, how to overcome objections, how to get into the right money mindset, because sometimes we sabotage ourselves from receiving money because we have fear. Branding, logo, website, and how important is that to your business? Some people think it's uber important, some people don't think it is. So we're going to look at yours specifically and figure out how is it being received, and is there any tweaks that you could make. We're going to evaluate your online presence, talk about following up, finding your why, focusing on some marketing, some networking, and getting organized. Now here's the thing, all of these items, all of these topics may not apply to you. So each month we're going to figure out which area do you want to focus on. So what would you say would be one of your top, maybe your top 3? What would be your top 3 focuses where you would want to focus your business?
I would say objections,
Okay.
money mindset, and I know I said marketing, but I feel like finding those qualified leads or recruits
Okay.
would be something
Great.
else.
Okay, good. So that would, knowing that upfront would allow me to really focus our efforts, our time together on those specific things. I don't want to spend time working on something that you really have no interest in, that is not something that maybe you feel is as important. Now, once I do the evaluation, that could potentially change based
Yeah.
on kind of what I find, right? So then, in order to really make this work, there does have to be a commitment. And just doing a one and done is really not going to be beneficial to really getting the results that you're wanting. I mean, it's great to have a one-time brainstorm session, but sometimes you still need to do the work.
Yeah.
And so this allows you to really get the support that you need and more one-on-one help from me on a continuous basis. And I'm asking for a minimum of a 3-month commitment. And then you can also elect to do a 6-month or a 1-year commitment. And the monthly installment plan, it decreases with having more time with me. So that is something that that we put together to either have people, they can pay for the whole thing up front, or they can do installments and kind of have a pay-as-you-go kind of program.
Cool.
And then, do you have any questions about the program?
So just for me to recap, you said once a month you have a one-on-one session.
Yes.
But you would also be available, you know, if I get an idea to give me feedback on something.
Yes.
Is there like a cap on how often I can reach out to you?
As often as you need to. And so sometimes that's just like a Facebook message or something through Slack or whatever, where you're just like, hey, could you look this over really quick? Like, absolutely. But our one-on-one brainstorming session that we would do once a month would be more intensive, where we're really digging in deeper to the issues. And so all of this follow-up and, you know, being available is really just part of having someone to be available as often as you need as you're kind of working through our brainstorming, because there's going to be a lot that could come out of that. And I know that sometimes if you're just kind of given an idea and you have no idea what to do with it next, you're not going to do it. It's going to be overwhelming. You don't know where to start. And so when we're finished by the end of the brainstorming session that we do each month, you're going to be given basically a roadmap where you're going to know exactly what you need to do, when you need to do it. You're going to have a clear direction. So that's really super important to me, that people understand exactly what they need to do, and that it's okay, like I said, to make tweaks along the way.
Cool. Awesome. And then just one quick question about the investment. You said minimum of 3 months. Was that price for the 3 months or per month?
So it's $750 total, or you can do the installments. You can do a payment plan. Okay. So it'd be $750 total for 3 months. Or if you wanted to do longer, then it would be a monthly payment. So you would have you would basically be continuously paying for services even after the 3 months is over. Okay, got it. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and the price goes, like I said, it goes down. So I think 6 months I have it at, I think it's $250 or $225 or something like that a month, and a 1 year is $200 a month. Okay, cool. Yeah. Wow. So any other questions? Not at this time. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today to get some more information about our Business Reboot Camp, and I hope it was really helpful for you. Yeah, thanks so much. It was awesome.